to my Scrap and Space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Southwest Wisconsin. And in this video, I'm going to share one of our In Color Club cards this month. This month, we're focusing on Pretty in Pink. What do you say we get my face out of the way and do some creating? So with the release of a new annual catalog, I started In Color Club. So that's a chance to get all the new in colors over a time period, so you're not buying them all at once. And it includes paper and markers and bling, and always 2 cards each month specific to the color. And this month is Pretty in Pink. And I paired it with this beautiful paper pack from the Unbounded Love Suite. And I also paired it with Summer Splash, which is a color we've already done. So In Color Club members have this. They get all the pieces for this kit, and I'm going to show you and them how to put it together. I'm also using bling, and I'm using the In Color resin dots for this one. I'm using an embossing folder. I grabbed Distress Tile, but really any folder that gives you an overall embossing will work. We're using a die set called Wanted to Say dies. I love these. I think you will too when we're done. What they do is they have a die. Let's see if we can pull this out a little better for you. They have a die that does the words, that's the white part, and then does a shadow. And you can cut both of them out. I'm going to show you how easy they are to put together. So we'll set those aside and let's make a card. So my base is Pretty in Pink. And it is 5.5 by 8.5. And I promised I would try to write these out for you. Someone said that was really helpful. So our card base is 5.5 by 8.5. And that's half of a standard 8.5 by 11. Then I have a mat. And my mat is 4 by 5.25. Then what I call the card front, or the pretty paper, I'm just looking, sorry guys, I get a little caught up with the colors here. There we go, I was just looking for a different color so they weren't all the same. Let's call this the card front. That's your pretty paper. Is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so let's make a card. I'm going to attach this to this. But when I get done with that, I'm going to emboss it with my embossing folder, which is going to put a lot of pressure on my paper, which if you put too much, like, I'm a big fan of the multi-purpose glue, but I tend not to use it if I'm going to be embossing 2 pieces together, because if I get too much at all, it's just going to squeeze that glue out, and then I have glue where I don't want it, like on my embossing folder. So let's grab a tape runner instead. Ooh, isn't that a pretty color on the back? Just think how gorgeous that would be. But we're doing a different card right now. Do you ever get distracted by your pretty papers? I do all the time. That probably doesn't even surprise you, does it? Okay. I love this paper. Partly, it's a great paper pack, but you could match it with any of the new in colors and it would look great. Okay, so here's our embossing folder. Stampin' Up is kind enough to give me a line, so I kind of have an idea where I want the bottom. I know I'm always going to have my logo on top. When I get an embossing folder, I add the title. And this is called the recipe or the sandwich we're going to use. It means we're going to use plates 1 and 4. So we'll open that up and just set that in here. Let's grab our cut and emboss machine. Pull down the sides. So plate 1 and 4. This is easy. We always use plate 1. I'm going to send this through fold first. That protects my embossing folder. And whenever I use my cut and emboss machine, whether I'm die cutting or embossing, I always have a plate on top. That protects my product, whether it's a die cut or embossing folder, and it protects my machine. And then we're just going to roll it through. And if your machine is not rolling as smoothly as this, stop and make sure that maybe you don't have an extra plate you didn't mean on there, or you don't have the right plates. Okay, that's all we need. We're going to close this up so it takes up less room on my craft table, because I need as much room as I can get. There we go. So you could do this without an embossing folder. What the embossing folder does is just add a layer of texture. And I'm going to wait and see if the camera can catch up. That just is so different than if you did. I'm going to grab another one that isn't embossed to show you the difference. This is from a kit that's going out to someone yet. So you could do that, and that's fine. But when you do this, you look at the camera can even see the difference. It feels different, and it's such an easy thing to do. Okay, so let's add that to our card base. Now I am going to grab my multi-purpose glue, because as you can tell, this is no longer a smooth surface. And that tape runner that I like so well can sometimes just kind of ride on the top when you have a heavily embossed piece, and it's not going to stick as well. I'm a little more generous when I'm adding adhesive to an embossed piece, because it just, that adhesive kind of needs to get in all those crevices. Okay, so that's getting centered here. There we go. Now, Color Club members who are watching, in your kit, you got all these pieces. I'm going to show you what that means. So one is happy birthday. One is, and these are all the die cut words that come out of wanted to say dies. One is celebrate. One is you're too kind. So lots of ways you can use these. And then one is, which I don't feel like I have a lot of stamps, so it's nice to have this sentiment. Feel better soon. I die cut these in white, and before I die cut them, I put adhesive on the back. And that's an adhesive paper I just put on in die cut. Treat it like it's a regular paper. And now I'm going to peel off that backing. So that means I don't have to try to figure out how to get glue in these tiny little places. And I'm gently pulling it away. And the adhesive sheet comes, already kind of has perforations in, so the paper comes apart easily. So it may come apart, and you're just going to keep pulling. Just gently pull it back. Just like that. Then I'm going to check the front, and it looks like one part of this, the center part of this E did not want to leave yet. Want to hang around for the party. Okay. Then you have the shadow. This is really versatile. You could put these words together in so many colors. You could do a print where I have a white. That'd be pretty too. Then I'm just lining it up and kind of letting it drop. Wow. Look at that. And what I like about this print is it doesn't go a certain way. I feel like with a longer sentiment, I want my card to go up and down. So I'm just going to add that to there. And on the back, I'm going to use some dimensionals. Dimensionals are, think like pieces of foam that are sticky on each side, and they just add some height. And as long as you just do one row, they're not going to, your card will not be too thick to require extra postage. It will go through with a regular stamp. And that should be plenty. There we go. I'm going to peel off the backs. I use a take your pick tool because it's just easier for me. But I bet some of you guys would be good with a fingernail. You can use the end of your snips, whatever works. I find I reach for this take your pick tool for so many things. There we go. All right. Now, you could put your saying right in the center. Those of you who follow me know that I hate putting things in the center because I spend too much time. I rather put things to the side. Otherwise, I'm thinking, is that really in the center? Should it be over a 1/16 of an inch or something? Oh, look at that. Wouldn't you feel better if you got a card like that? So then we're going to add 3 pieces of bling. Well, yes, embellishment. And I went with the Summer Splash ones, but you could also use the Pretty in Pink. I was just kind of pulling up from the mat in the shadow. So this, and when I'm adding them, I typically do them in odd number, often 3, and if I'm using 3, I do them in roughly a triangular shape, which simply means 1 is by itself and 2 are closer together. That makes a triangle. There we go. Oh, wow. Look at that. How easy was that? Now, if you were making this at home and you were making it for someone who isn't into flowers, you could do the same card design in any print you have. I have all the directions on my blog, Scrapping with Joni. We're going to move these out of the way. Now I'm going to write a note in here, and so I'm not going to attach it yet because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm writing something I mess it up and then I can just turn the paper over. I'm also going to add this little scrap right there, but again I'm not going to do that until I write my note. But look what just that little piece of print from the front of the card to the inside. It just makes it look like it's all supposed to go together. So if it's all supposed to go together, let's talk about the envelope flap. Because you and I both know we're not sending this card out in a naked envelope. I'm going to take my envelope flap and fold it back. I have a piece of paper. Let's add that to our list too. Your envelope flap is any print paper that coordinates with your card. Now, of course, there's other ways you can decorate an envelope. But if you're using paper, I do 2 1/4 by 6. You want it slightly larger than your envelope flappy so you can trim around it. Let's grab this. Just like that. Oops. So there's another set of bling here because I gave people in the In Color Club a choice. So I included both pieces of embellishment, and they can decide what they want to use. That's going there. And then I'm just pushing this here, and we're going to give that a second to set up. And I still have 2 more sentiments I can use on another card. Let's trim that up. There we go. I have really enjoyed In Color Club. We're almost coming to an end. September will be the last In Color. We're going to play with Shy Shamrock, and so much fun. There we go. All right. There's our card. We're going to leave this card insert out because I need to write a note there. But wouldn't you feel better if you get a card like that? And like I said, you could also, the Wanted to Say dies includes Happy Birthday, Celebrate, and You Are Too Kind. And You Are Too Kind to Watch. I do appreciate it more than you know. Until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good for you.